Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Gonzo Ewok channel with me, Gonzo,
and me, Ewok,
for another episode.
No. That's not how it goes. It's Friday, and that can only mean one thing: Geordie Space Program.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to explain something. You may have noticed that intro. That's the word. May have seemed a little contrived, scripted, if you will. The reason for that is because we've already done it. We have already done this episode.
We recorded the whole episode. Well, we recorded some of the whole episode.
Yeah. The part that you're about to watch, we've already attempted. Unfortunately, forgot to turn the camera on. So ultimately, it was a blank screen with me shouting at Ewok.
A 30-minute audio file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some good banter. It was exciting. What happened?
I'll tell you what happened. This is Geordie Lab. You may remember Geordie Lab.
It looks so nice when it's still alive and in one piece.
Now, Geordie Lab, you can see slightly vibrating. I'm going to come away from it now.
Don't touch Geordie Lab.
Don't touch Geordie Lab.
Whatever you do not touch Geordie Lab.
Geordie Lab has a small clipping problem.
Yeah. It's
During our last recording attempt, the one that failed because we didn't turn the camera on, Geordie Lab evaporated into debris.
Tubes.
Bits
of a Minmus.
It just exploded. We weren't doing anything with it. We were just looking at it and going, ooh, and it exploded.
Yeah, we're looking to send some science back, such as its purpose, and it literally evaporated. It was beautiful, but horrific.
Now, as you know, we've got a no reverb policy, and that happened quite early in the episode, so we continued through the entire episode as normal before we reviewed it at the end. In fact, we went to the video file so we could watch ourselves as it exploded.
Yeah, because we're not vain like that.
Because we're not vain like that. We don't watch our own videos. So, we were
don't hit the
table. So we were pretty gutted when we saw that the video footage had gone. Fortunately, I had a copy of the saved file at my house because I took it home in case I wanted to do any practicing.
Which you haven't.
Which I haven't. I haven't done any practicing at all, which is part of the problem of the last mission.
Yeah.
Or this mission.
What's about to happen is because of that.
Should I try and recreate all the cock-ups?
Definitely not.
Definitely.
No. The thought crossed my mind when I realised that we hadn't recorded it, and then I thought, let's not bother.
Well, we're going to continue where we left off. We're going to try and go to Eve.
Yes.
And while we are underway on our mission, we're going to attempt to collect some science from Geordie Lab.
Yeah.
Which may or may not explode.
Yeah.
Now, in order to get the transfer window, I have to speed time forward.
Yeah, there was another first that you will have now missed. Ewok referred successfully to a wiki article on
mid-video
on which angle was best for Eve, and basically Eve needs to be kind of behind us. 53 degrees.
Minus 54.13 degrees.
Close enough. It basically needs to be behind her, forming a 54-degree angle with the sun and us as a bit of a triangle. So we're going to have to wait some time, and of course while we're waiting, Geordie Lab is collecting that sweet sciencey good.
It is. We'll be going to Geordie Lab soon to transmit that science. It'll be around about when Eve's sitting at about sort of 2 o'clock, I think.
Now, I think in the aborted missing episode, part of the reason why Geordie Lab came apart was because to speed up the transfer, which took some time, the data coming back.
I time warped.
We're time warped to get the electric charge back that we need. It doesn't have a huge amount of battery power. I know it's a pain in the arse, but I don't think we should do that.
Well, we'll get a feel of how long it's going to take.
It's going to take some time, but we need this in one piece. I was properly devastated when this came apart. I don't think I could handle seeing it happen a second time.
It's worth noting that Bob survived because one of the few pieces of debris to survive the subsequent evaporation was the actual lab.
Well, all the pieces survived, technically. They were all just apart from each other in a big cloud.
No, when we came back to it, there were only three pieces remaining. Oh. They were titled Geordie Lab Probe, which was the top end, Geordie Lab Ship, which was the lab itself, and Geordie Lab. The whole title was awarded to one decoupler module.
That's what the game thinks of our attempts at science and technology in space. So, as you can see, we're now running out of electric charge.
That is going far too slow. How about I do a little time warp?
I really don't like the idea of this. I know this is shit, but I've seen this.
We
I've seen this
can't
explode.
come away for it. We're getting about
You want it to explode.
we're getting about 0.5% every 10 seconds.
You want it to explode. That's what I've learned.
Time warp times 4. How about that? Look
No,
at that. It's
no,
moving.
no time warp.
It's moving.
It's just
The ship's not wobbling very much. I think we're okay. I mean, I was on like time warp times 20 or so before.
It's that service bit at the top that clips a bit, isn't it? From memory.
It is, yeah. I think the stuff in there is a little too tightly packed.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah. No time for jokes, mate.
No time for
No
jokes.
time for jokes. I'm very, very nervous.
I mean, we're getting there. We are getting there. Look at that. It's moving.
It is. I know this is incredibly boring, folks, but we don't want this to die. We really need this in one piece, doing exactly what it's doing now.
And it was such a beautiful design as well, the way the lander module came off the top and landed and collected science and
It's
came
the
back
most
up and
beautiful,
rendezvoused.
technically advanced, perfect thing we've ever made, and it just fell apart like wet cake. I don't want to see that happen again.
Unfortunately, the control system is inside that service bay, so we can't like share the service bay away or anything like that. Not that there's a way we could do that because we don't have. Excuse me, there's a couple of modules on there. Oh, this is really slow, mate.
You know
People
what?
aren't going to like this.
It can't be helped. We're not fast forwarding it. People, if you need to, fast forward the video a couple of minutes. We'll not hold it against you. Totally understand why you would do that, but we need to do this.
In the meantime, let's discuss what games we've been playing. We haven't had this discussion.
I can't wait to hear what games you've been playing, Ewok.
I have been playing Mad Max.
Wow!
I've been playing Mad Max lately. It came out on the same day as the game that you've been playing lately. What was the game that you've been playing lately?
Like most of the world, I've been playing Metal Gear Solid 5, like a gun.
Yeah, but you probably paid 4 times the price for Metal Gear Solid 5 as I did for Mad Max.
This is true.
Not that I can judge because I then went and bought Metal Gear Solid
So
5.
you're more out of pocket than I am because I haven't got
yeah.
Mad Max. Although, actually, I didn't explain this in this video. I explained it in the last one. My missus is currently at Wales at a festival. So I'm greenlit all the way, all weekend. So the fridge is full of beer. And what I plan to do is sit in my pants. I've got some chores. I'll take care of them after we're done recording the night. Rattle my way through them. And then I plan to spend the rest of the weekend in my pants playing a video game. So I'm tempted to pick it up because I think it's something where I could sink a few hours into, just like doing like fetchy questy repetitive stuff.
Really enjoyed Mad Max. I was doing loads of side missions, clearing out loads of areas, like there's bases you can go to and a lot of optional stuff. I've probably put about 30 or 40 hours into it. I completed the main story now, and you know what I thought was really, really, really good. If anything, it's given me a taste to watch the Mad Max movies again.
Aye, the original.
All of them. Fury Road's
Really?
fantastic as well.
I've never seen it. I know it's had good write-ups. First Mad Max was meant. I didn't think much of Mad Max 2 or 3, mind.
You didn't like The Road Warrior? I really liked Mad Max 2. Thunderdome was terrible.
I thought Thunderdome was second. Was Thunderdome third?
Thunderdome's the third.
Oh.
Thunderdome's the third
With
one.
Tina Turner?
With Tina... Aye, that bloke, aye. That fella.
That's a bit harsh. Yeah, I really didn't like that one. Okay, then second one wasn't terrible. It was alright. Really liked the first one. Didn't like the third one. Haven't seen Fury
I can't
Road.
believe you didn't like the second one. I think the second one's the...
I'm not
the
saying I
pinnacle
didn't
of
like
the
it. I'm
series.
just it was alright.
It's got the punk with the mohawk and the assless leather chaps.
I've been that punk with the mohawk and the assless leather chaps.
I can't remember you in assless leather chaps.
You didn't go to the right clubs, then, did you? You went going to the right clubs in the late 90s.
And the Lord Humongous. Oh, it was the second one is fantastic. I mean, the first one's really good. It's got the whole gang culture, the breakdown of society. And it's gritty and it's dark. But the second one's just, you know, it's a really fantastic action movie. And I love the setting of it, the post-apocalyptic wasteland, the little tribes that the gangs have almost been replaced by. Honestly, I can't see why you don't like it.
I'll tell you what. Since I've got this weekend to myself,
You're gonna watch Mad
I'm
Max 2?
going to watch Mad Max 2. I'll give it another go. It's
Are you
been a long time since I've seen
Are
it.
you gonna watch Fury Road? Oh no, you can't watch Fury Road because it's not out yet.
No. At some
it's-
point I will.
It's finished its run at the pictures, unfortunately.
Aye, well, it'll come to one of the streaming services very shortly, I'm sure. Here's another point of conversation, just as we're getting towards the right angle. Guess what I'm going to have for tea? I'm going to have something exotic.
Yeah, and you want me to guess?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to guess?
Because my missus is away, I fancy something exotic.
Exotic.
I'll give you a clue. It's not kangaroo or ostrich or crocodile, I think you guessed in the last episode.
Yeah, funnily enough, those were going to be my three guesses. It's not a chicken parmo, is it?
It totally is. I don't know how you guessed
My
that.
God, of all the foods in the world.
You know what? The joke is that's not really exotic because it's from Middlesbrough and that's only like an hour down the road.
It might be exotic to a lot of our audience.
If you don't know what a parmo is, I'll explain it a second time. A parmo. This is
It's just like Groundhog.
This is gibberish, mate. I'm dying of deja vu here. A parmo, if you don't know what one is a breaded chicken scallop, flattened and deep fried, and then you cover it with like a white bechamel sauce and a lot of cheese, sometimes some mushrooms, some pepperoni, maybe some bolognese. Mine's just a plain parmo. I'm a simple man of simple pleasures. I'm having one of those. Have you had a parmo before, Ewok?
I have had a parmo before.
You are okay with them, I imagine?
No, I dislike parmos.
Wow.
I think parmos are really, really dirty, nasty food. That up there with kebabs for the nastiness. Probably even worse. Although I will admit I do like a cheeky kebab.
I love a kebab, as my mother calls it, an elephant's leg.
An elephant's leg?
An elephant's leg. Yeah, I bet you didn't know my mum called it a doner kebab.
I
an
have
elephant's leg.
no idea.
It's why I'm the size I am, Ewok. This spontaneous and witty banter. Okay, right, we're being a bit too sarky. That's going to be really negative. I'm sure that'll come across much worse than the finished recording than it's meant to. What are we doing next? What's happening?
I'm transmitting the second load of data. It is worth noting that it was during the second transfer that the ship blew itself apart. So it was around about this moment in time that Geordie Space Lab
Prolapsed.
Self-prolapsed.
Yeah.
It prolapsed out of itself, in on itself.
Yeah.
You'd prolapse out, but it
kind of went in from out. I mean, those bits gone in all directions. You could call it an explosion, a prolapse, a reverse prolapse, a sucking in, a blowing out. Call it whatever you want. It was doing it at some point.
I wonder if you can medically have like a reverse prolapse.
Where your rectum detaches itself from the outside of your body and shoots up inwards.
Yeah, I'm more thinking like where
I'm assuming a rectal
the
prolapse.
External part of your buttocks starts being sucked into your body.
It can happen. It's a medical condition called hungry arse. Now, hungry arse usually applies to ladies in very tight jeans and thongs. You would say that lady's got a hungry arse because you can see the jeans going right up. But it's also a very serious medical condition where, in fact, your arse eats you and yourself and itself all at once.
Until all that's left is a little bucket anus lying on the floor.
It's actually foretold that that's how the world will end. Somebody will suffer from a full case of hungry arse, absorb themselves, and they'll become the singularity. That'll become the black hole at the centre of the universe.
Okay. You can read more about the hungry arse singularity theory in Stephen Hawking's A Brief History of Time, ladies and gentlemen.
Part 2, Hungry Arses.
A sequel that for some reason hasn't got the press it deserves.
Surprising, really.
You do talk some shit, Quinton.
That was quite good. I've nearly made myself sick.
Tell us about Pluto.
No. No.
That's genuinely interesting.
Yeah, in the last episode I was trying to explain about New Horizon and some of the pictures that were coming out from Pluto. The first time I tried to explain it, Ewok managed to
blow some shit up.
Blow up Geordie Lab to distract us. The second time we actually did manage to try and launch the next probe across to Eve.
Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get there soon.
And he, as you would guess, hit spacebar a little bit too soon, while some rockets were still firing. They then flung forwards, exploded, and then we hit the debris and exploded. And then I managed to kind of bumble my way through, but at that point you'd already cut us off twice. And as I explained then, as I'm standing here now, I'm not going to explain what happened with New Horizon and Pluto and the pictures that we're receiving, because you'll do something silly.
I won't do something silly, and I really think it's an interesting topic. It's topical to what
You're
we do
just saying
here.
that because we need 30% more
filler.
More filler. Yeah, I can see that ticking away on the screen there.
But well, we do need 30 seconds more filler.
Right.
I will never
Do
deny
you
that.
promise you won't do anything daft?
Well, we're still on Space Lab, so it may explode. I can't guarantee that it won't.
You know what?
But my hands are off the keyboard at this point.
It's been built up a lot. Okay, so you may remember, if you follow spacey, sciencey stuff, that about a month ago, give or take, New Horizon did its quick flyby of Pluto, and in the immediate aftermath, we got some pictures back from it. And a lot of people look at those pictures. You may have been one of them and kind of thinking they look very scabby. They're very blurry. You can't really see much.
I believe that the word is meh.
Yeah, it was kind of like, wow. I mean, it's impressive you've got that close, but not really much to look at here. You can see some little wibbly bits of shadows, but there's not really much you can see from it. But you've got to remember, of course, it's kind of like what we're doing here with sending data. It takes a lot of time to do, and so the stuff that we were getting were all the very sort of quick and dirty pictures that were just kind of taken at low resolution. And so since that flyby, now New Horizon has been working on transmitting better, much higher quality pictures and sending them back, and as of yesterday, I think it was the 16th or the 17th of September, we're now receiving those pictures. Now, I've put one up on my personal Facebook page to show one where you can see mountains and all sorts of shit. It's incredible. If I remember, after we're done recording tonight, I'll put a one up on our Gonzo Ewok Facebook page. So if you haven't seen it already, Google it by all means, or if you want to do us a favour, come stop by the Facebook page. You can come and have a look at it and go, wow, that's amazing. And I go, I know, isn't it?
It really is amazing. I mean, like...
We're playing light lip service here. It's absolutely incredible.
It's a picture of Pluto. I mean, it's like over 1,000 miles away.
it's probably close
really, really far.
About 2,000 mile away.
Yeah, it's like further than Australia.
Yeah, exactly. You could go to probably, I'd imagine you could probably get to Australia and back in the same sort of distance. It's miles away.
Yeah, it's really far.
Miles.
But yeah, I mean, I love stuff like that, but it does make you feel a little small, doesn't it?
It does. It really kind of says, like, you should know your place in the world, you speck of dust.
Yeah.
You atom on a speck of dust.
Although Pluto's certainly back with a vengeance since its unfair treatment by the scientific community.
Oh, what, you one of these guys said, oh, dwarf planet, moon.
Dwarf planet, moon.
Yeah.
And now it's just, look at me. Here I am.
Yeah,
live with it.
It's interesting.
I'm just going to pick up a little bit more science data to refuel this.
Isn't this what you were doing when things went wrong? I thought you were actually out. I didn't think you were just transmitting stuff.
Oh no. Yes, I guess it was. Oh, it was far less spectacular this time. But yeah, there goes Geordie Lab. At least the transmission went through.
It's happened again.
It's happened again. I think it's always going to happen.
Where's Bob? Did Bob get back in?
Bob's back in. Bob's in. Hang on. There we go. There's Bob. Bob is safe.
In the little debris cloud. Bits over Minmus. A slight reprise. Part 2. Mate, you know what? We should wrap this fucking episode up now. We'll come back.
Yeah.
Clean
We
slate.
haven't even launched.
We've done Nout. We've just done. We've explained what we did last time, and then we've just done it again.
We've explained what we did last time, but they've not even done everything that we did last time. We have got 1,000 science though.
It's not.
We always said we weren't going to like hack and just time warp to get science. We were going to do a mission and get science when we did the mission, but we didn't even get to start the mission.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a long build-up for that explosion. It wasn't even an explosion, it was just an evaporation.
Hungry arse in space.
Hungry arse in space. Thank you for watching this episode of Geordie Space Programme, such as it was.
Yeah, if for some perverse reason you want to hit the like button, it's there. You can see it just below the screen. You want to give it a tap, you can. Totally understand if you don't want to, but you'd be doing us a solid if you did. If you haven't already, you can also subscribe, and then you'll get notified when we put up abortions of videos like this in future. We're also on Twitter and Facebook. Basically, just type Gonzo Ewok into Google. You'll find everything.
You'll find something. And definitely swing by that Facebook page to find images of Pluto. Yeah. It'll be a lot easier than using Google, I'm sure.
Of course, yeah.
Of course.
Okay, then thanks very much for watching, and we shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.